The Galactic Council Hall was silent and cold. It was the largest meeting place in known space. The ceiling was so high that clouds floated near the top. Bright stars could be seen through clear crystal walls. Long rows of seats rose like mountains around the center floor. Dozens of alien races were present. Some were tall and thin with glowing eyes. Others were massive, covered in armor like skin. Some floated instead of walking. Their seats were high above the floor, showing their power and pride. At the very bottom sat the humans. Their section was small. Their chairs were plain metal, low and simple. Compared to the others, humans looked weak, short, fragile, easy to crush. Many aliens stared down at them with amusement. Whispers moved through the hall. So small. So soft. They do not belong here. At the center platform, a large alien leader stood up. His skin was dark blue, his voice loud and sharp. He represented one of the strongest empires in the galaxy. The council is now in session, he said. We discuss the actions of humanity. A large screen appeared in the air. Images showed human ships near disputed space. Mining stations near the border of alien territory. The alien leader pointed at the screen. Humans have broken galactic space rules, he said. They moved into restricted zones. They build colonies without permission. Murmurs filled the hall. Some aliens hissed in anger. Others laughed. One alien commander leaned forward. His face was full of sharp teeth. Do they even understand our laws? He mocked. Or are they too simple? Laughter echoed across the chamber. The human ambassador stood alone. Ambassador Elias Grant was not tall. He wore a simple dark suit. His face was calm, his hands behind his back. He did not look angry. He did not look afraid. He waited. The alien leader waved a claw. Speak, human, he said. Explain your crimes. Grant stepped forward slowly. He looked around the massive hall. He saw power. He saw pride. He saw enemies who already believed they had won. Our colonies are within survival distance, Grant said calmly. Human worlds need resources. We meant no threat. That was all. The hall exploded with laughter. That is all, one alien shouted. No apology, another said. No fear. A tall alien with golden armor stood up. His voice was full of mockery. Humans are soft, he said. They avoid war. They avoid pain. When pressure comes, they surrender. More laughter. History proves it, another alien added. They fight among themselves, then beg for peace. Grant said nothing. He stood still, eyes forward. The alien leader raised his hands for silence. The council has decided, he announced. To protect galactic order, we will take action. A red symbol flashed above the chamber. Human border colonies will be attacked, the leader said. Limited force. Enough to teach a lesson. Some aliens clapped. Others nodded with satisfaction. They will beg us to stop, one said. They will sign any treaty, said another. They always do. The vote ended quickly. The decision was final. Grant bowed his head slightly. Humanity acknowledges the council's choice, he said. He turned and walked away without another word. Behind him, laughter followed. No one noticed his clenched fists. Far away on Earth, the warning arrived. Deep beneath the planet's surface, in a reinforced command room, screens lit up red. Officers stopped moving. Conversations died. An AI voice spoke calmly. Galactic Council forces detected. Multiple fleets. Estimated arrival, 72 hours. Silence filled the room. Men and women in uniform stared at the screens. The numbers were bad. Very bad. Enemy ships outnumbered human defenses 5-1. A young officer swallowed hard. So, this is it? He whispered. No one answered. Then the door opened. Admiral Hannah Cole entered. Her hair was gray. Her face was tired, but her eyes were sharp. She looked at the screens. She looked at her people. They voted to attack, she said quietly. The room stayed silent. They think we will surrender, she continued. They think we will run. She paused. They do not know us. Orders began to flow. Fleet commanders were alerted. Shipyards went to full power. Old defense plans were unlocked. Weapons long hidden were prepared. Across Earth, alarms did not sound. Cities stayed calm. People lived their normal lives. But in the dark, humanity woke up. On Mars, soldiers checked their armor. On Luna, ship engines roared to life. In deep space, silent human fleets changed course. Back in the Galactic Council Hall, aliens celebrated. They drank. They joked. They spoke of easy victory. None of them looked at human history. None of them remembered one simple truth. Humans do not run when they have no choice. They fight. Final hook line. They thought humans would run. They were wrong. The galaxy moved on as if nothing important had happened. Alien empires returned to their worlds. Council members spoke of trade, borders, and power. To them, the decision was already finished. Humans would lose. Humans would beg. They always did. But while the galaxy slept in comfort, humanity prepared in silence. On Earth, the command room stayed active day and night. Large screens showed star maps filled with red enemy routes. Blue human fleets were fewer, smaller, and slower. By numbers alone, the war was already lost. Yet no one panicked. Admiral Hannah Cole stood at the center table. Around her were generals, engineers, and fleet commanders. Some had fear in their eyes. Others had anger. None spoke without purpose. "They think we are weak," Admiral Cole said. "They think we avoid war." She touched the table. A new map appeared. "They are right about one thing," she continued. "We hate war." She looked up. "But they forgot why." Silence. "We hate war because we understand it," she said. "We lived it. For centuries. Against each other." Old records appeared on the screens. Human history. Wars that burned cities. Wars that killed millions. Wars that almost destroyed the planet. "We learned," Cole said. "And we survived." She straightened her back. "And now we will use what we learned." Across the solar system, orders were carried out. Human ships did not rush to the border. They disappeared. Small fleets split into smaller groups. Some shut down engines and drifted in darkness. Others hid near asteroid fields. Communication went dark. To alien sensors, human space went quiet. Too quiet. Alien scouts reported back. "No major movement detected," one report said. "Human fleets are retreating," said another. "They are afraid." Alien commanders smiled. On Mars, deep underground, something old was waking up. Engineers stood in long halls filled with massive metal shapes. Ships larger than anything the galaxy had seen. Built in secret. Designed for one purpose only. War. A young engineer wiped sweat from his face. "Project Aegis is ready," he said. A senior officer nodded. "Keep it silent," she replied. "No signals. No leaks." The ships did not shine. They did not look beautiful. They looked heavy. Brutal. Built to survive hell. Humans did not name their weapons after gods for beauty. They named them after survival. In another hidden base, far beyond Pluto, a different kind of weapon waited. Not ships. Information. Human analysts studied alien behavior. Council politics. Pride. Patterns. "They rely on fear," one analyst said. "They expect surrender." Another nodded. "They underestimate pain tolerance," she added. "They do not understand desperation." A third analyst spoke softly. "They have never fought a species that knows extinction." The room went quiet. Back on Earth, Ambassador Elias Grant watched the stars from his office. He replayed the council session in his mind. The laughter. The mockery. The vote. He did not feel anger. He felt certainty. A secure message appeared. From Admiral Cole. Subject, Phase 1 ready. Grant closed his eyes for a moment. Then he typed a short reply. Proceed. 72 hours passed quickly. Alien fleets moved toward human border colonies. Massive ships, glowing with energy shields. Confident. Loud. They sent open broadcasts. "Human colonies," an alien commander announced. "Power down your defenses. Surrender peacefully." There was no reply. The alien commander laughed. "They are already broken," he said. The fleet moved closer. Then space changed. Human colonies powered down completely. Lights went out. Stations went dark. Even life signs faded. Alien sensors showed nothing. "They abandoned their own people," an alien officer said with disgust. "Pathetic." The alien fleet advanced deeper. That was the mistake. Without warning, space exploded. Human mines, old, simple, and deadly, detonated around the alien fleet. Shields failed. Ships collided. Panic spread. Before the aliens could regroup, human ships appeared. Not from the front. From everywhere. Silent fleets emerged from darkness. No warning signals. No broadcasts. Only fire. Human weapons did not aim for glory. They aimed for engines. Communication arrays. Command ships. Alien formations collapsed. "This was not expected," an alien captain screamed. Human ships did not chase. They struck fast. Then vanished again. Leaving wreckage behind. Far away, the Galactic Council received the first reports. Confused, panicked, unbelieving. "This is impossible," one leader said. "They were retreating," said another. "They were weak." A messenger entered the hall. "Human forces are not retreating," he said. "They are hunting." The hall fell silent. For the first time, fear replaced laughter. And humanity was only beginning. The galaxy did not understand what was happening. Alien fleets were built for open war. Large formations, strong shields, loud power. They believed strength must be seen to be feared. Humans believed the opposite. After the first strikes, human ships disappeared again. They did not hold territory. They did not send victory messages. They did not chase damaged enemies into traps. They waited. Alien commanders tried to restore order. "Reform the fleet," one ordered. "Bring shields back online," said another. "Find the human ships." Scouts were sent in every direction. None returned. Human fleets moved like shadows. They attacked supply ships first. Fuel carriers vanished. Ammunition convoys were destroyed. Repair vessels never reached the front. Alien war machines were powerful. But power means nothing without support. Within days, alien ships began to slow. Engines overheated. Shields failed more often. Crews grew tired and afraid. They had never fought a war like this. On Earth, Admiral Cole watched the reports quietly. "Phase 2 is working," an officer said. She nodded. "Good," she replied. "Now we teach them patience." Human forces did not rush. They let fear grow. Alien command centers argued. "They are cowards," one general insisted. "They hide because they are afraid." Another shook his head. "No," he said slowly. "They hide because they choose when we die." The room went quiet. In the border colonies, something unexpected happened. Human civilians returned. Stations powered back on. Lights came alive. Children walked corridors again. Farmers worked inside domes. Life continued under the shadow of war. Alien observers were confused. "Why would they return?" one asked. "They are in danger." They did not understand. Humans were not using the colonies as shields. They were using them as bait. A large alien strike force moved toward one such colony. "This time we crush them fully," the commander said. "No restraint." The fleet entered the system. The colony looked peaceful. Weak. Defenseless. Then space folded. Human warships emerged from hidden jump points around the system. Larger than before. Heavier. Slower. Project Aegis had arrived. The alien commander froze. "These ships, they were not detected," he whispered. Human ships opened fire. Not fast. Not wild. Controlled. Precise. Relentless. Alien shields failed under pressure they were never designed to face. Armor cracked. Hulls split open. Human ships advanced like moving walls. The alien fleet tried to retreat. There was nowhere to go. On one alien bridge, alarms screamed. Engines failing. Command ship hit. "We are surrounded." The commander fell back into his chair. "They said humans were soft," he muttered. Outside the viewport, a human ship moved closer. Scarred. Dark. Silent. No broadcast came. No warning. Just the end. The message reached the Galactic Council hours later. An entire strike force destroyed. No human colonies lost. No surrender requests. Only one short transmission replayed again and again. A human voice. "Come. Clear. This space is defended." The council hall was filled with fear. The same hall where they once laughed. Now no one spoke. Ambassador Grant stood before them again. The humans were still seated low. But this time no one laughed. "You attacked us," Grant said evenly. "You expected us to break." He looked around the chamber. "We did not come here to rule you," he continued. "We came to survive." A council member whispered, "What do you want?" Grant paused. Then he answered. "We want you to remember," he said. "Humans do not seek war." His eyes hardened. "But if you bring it to us, we finish it." Silence followed. Heavy. And across the galaxy, alien fleets began to pull back. Because now they understood the truth. Humans were never weak. They were restrained. Fear spread faster than any human ship. Across alien space, commanders received the same reports. Lost fleets, vanished supply lines, systems going dark without warning. The humans were not winning through numbers. They were winning through control. And control terrified them. In the Galactic Council Hall, emergency lights glowed softly. The great chamber that once echoed with laughter now felt smaller, colder. Council leaders argued openly. This has gone too far, one said. We underestimated them, another admitted. They are humiliating us, a third growled. The blue-skinned leader who had first mocked humanity slammed his claw onto the table. Enough, he shouted. We still have strength. Call the Grand Armada. The room went quiet. The Grand Armada was legend. A massive force built to crush entire civilizations. It had not been used in centuries. One council member hesitated. If we do this, she said carefully, there will be no return. The leader's eyes burned with pride. Then let there be no return, he said. The vote passed. The galaxy felt the Armada move. Hundreds of massive alien warships powered up at once. Space lanes filled with energy. Stars dimmed under their shields. Alien media broadcast the event openly. Humanity will fall, the announcers said. This war ends now. On Earth, the broadcast played in silence. Admiral Cole watched without blinking. They chose pride, she said softly. She turned to her officers. Begin Phase 3. Deep in human space, long-forgotten factories came alive. Ships even larger than Project Aegis moved from hidden docks. Not fast. Not elegant. Built like fortresses. Human soldiers trained without speeches. Without cheers. They checked weapons. They wrote messages home. Some smiled. Some did not. They understood the cost. Ambassador Grant sent one final message to the council. You still have time, it read. Stand down. The reply came quickly. We do not negotiate with prey. Grant closed his eyes. So be it, he whispered. The Grand Armada entered the border system. It was beautiful in a terrible way. Endless ships in perfect formation. Shields shining like suns. For the first time, human fleets did not hide. They waited. The two forces faced each other across empty space. Alien commanders smiled. This ends here, one said. Then human space changed. Stars vanished. Darkness spread like a wound. Alien sensors screamed. What is happening? We are losing navigation. Space is collapsing. Human ships activated gravity weapons. Not bombs. Not beams. Traps. Entire regions of space folded inward. Alien formations broke apart as ships were pulled off course. Collisions followed. Panic erupted. This is impossible, an alien commander shouted. Humans had learned how to weaponize the universe itself. Project Aegis ships advanced. Human fortress ships opened fire. Not in rage. In judgment. Each shot was measured. Each target chosen. Command ships fell first. Then shield generators. Then engines. Alien fleets tried to regroup. They failed. On the flagship of the Armada, the blue-skinned leader watched his empire burn. Retreat, he screamed. There was no answer. Human ships surrounded him. The transmission finally came through. Ambassador Grant's voice filled the bridge. You were warned, he said calmly. The leader's pride shattered. We surrender, he whispered. The war ended in silence. Human fleets stopped advancing. They did not chase fleeing ships. They did not invade alien worlds. They simply held the line. The Galactic Council reconvened weeks later. This time humans were invited to higher seats. They refused. Grant stood where he always had. We do not want your chairs, he said. We want respect. The council agreed. Borders were redrawn. Human colonies were recognized. New laws were written. And one rule was added above all others. Never mistake restraint for weakness. Across the galaxy that rule was remembered, because everyone had seen the price of pride, and no one wished to pay it again. War ended, but silence remained. Not the peaceful kind. The kind that follows destruction. Across the galaxy, wreckage drifted through space. Broken alien ships floated like dead giants. Burn marks stayed on starside lanes where battles had happened. Systems once full of traffic were empty now. Human ships moved slowly among the ruins. They were not hunting. They were cleaning. Rescue teams pulled survivors from shattered hulls. Human medics treated alien wounded without asking names or ranks. Food and oxygen were shared. Some aliens stared in confusion. Why help us? One injured officer asked. A human medic answered simply. Because the war is over. The alien turned away ashamed. On Earth, people finally felt the weight of what had happened. News screens showed images from space. Not victories. Not explosions. Funerals. Flags lowered. Names read aloud. Families standing in silence. Humanity had won. But victory still hurt. Admiral Hannah Cole stood alone at a memorial wall deep inside the command center. Thousands of names were carved into metal. She touched one. "Worth it?" a quiet voice asked. She turned. Ambassador Grant stood behind her. "We survived," she said. "That was the goal." Grant nodded slowly. "They will fear us now." "Yes," Cole replied. "But fear fades." She looked at the wall again. "Memory doesn't." In alien space, panic slowly turned into reflection. Empires pulled fleets back to core worlds. Military parades were cancelled. Councils met in silence instead of celebration. Young alien officers studied human tactics. Ambush, patience, sacrifice. They struggled to understand one thing: why humans stopped. They had the power to push forward, to take territory, to rule. But they did not. The Galactic Council met again, this time under heavy guard. No laughter filled the hall. No mockery. Only caution. When the human delegation arrived, every alien stood. Not out of law. Out of respect. Ambassador Grant walked to the center. "We did not come to punish you," he said. "We came to end this." A council elder spoke carefully. "What guarantees peace?" Grant answered without pause. "Understanding," he said. "You now know our limits. Do not test them again." The council agreed to a new order. Human representatives would help rewrite galactic defense laws. Border conflicts would be judged fairly. No single empire could vote for war alone. Balance replaced arrogance. Far from politics, something else changed. Human colonies near the border grew stronger. Defenses stayed active. People trained but also built. Children learned alien languages. Traders crossed old enemy space. Shared stations appeared between former rivals. Fear did not vanish, but it was controlled. One alien historian recorded the war for future generations. He wrote, "Humans were not the strongest. They were not the largest. They were not the oldest. But they were the most dangerous when cornered." He paused, then added one final line. "They fight not to conquer, but to endure." On a quiet night on Earth, Grant stood under the open sky. Stars looked the same as before. Yet everything had changed. Humanity was no longer ignored. No longer mocked. They had been seen. Behind him, a young officer spoke. "Do you think there will be another war?" Grant thought for a moment. "Yes," he said honestly. "One day." He looked at the stars again. "But next time they will remember." The officer nodded. Far across the galaxy, in a ruined alien world, the blue-skinned leader sat alone in exile. He watched the same stars. He remembered laughter. He remembered pride. And now he remembered fear. One truth echoed through his mind, a truth the entire galaxy had learned too late. Humans were quiet not because they were weak. They were quiet because they were waiting. Time moved forward, but the war did not fade. It changed form. Years passed. Trade routes reopened. Borders stabilized. New stations were built where battlefields once burned. The galaxy learned to speak softly around human space. Not because humans demanded it, because no one forgot. In alien academies, young officers studied a new subject: human conflict history. Holograms showed silent fleets, broken armadas, and empty space where ships once existed. Teachers spoke with care. "Humans do not rush," they said. "They observe. They adapt. And when they strike, they do not stop until the threat ends." Students listened in silence. None laughed. On Earth, humanity returned to quiet progress. Shipyards built explorers instead of warships. Scientists studied stars, not weapons. Soldiers trained but hoped never to fight again. Monuments were raised. Not to celebrate victory. To remember cost. Children walked past those monuments every day. They learned names, not numbers. They learned why peace mattered. Ambassador Elias Grant retired from the council. On his final day, alien leaders gathered to honor him. An elder approached. "You changed the galaxy," she said. Grant shook his head. "No," he replied. "The galaxy forced us to show who we are." He left without ceremony. Admiral Hannah Cole stayed longer. She helped design joint defense systems. Shared warnings. Early response networks. "If war comes again," she said in one meeting, "it should find us united, not divided." Some aliens hesitated. Others agreed. Fear had taught them cooperation. Far beyond known space, something watched. Ancient. Patient. It had observed the war quietly. Recorded everything. Human restraint. Human fury. Human unity. The unknown intelligence sent one simple report back to its kind. This species must not be provoked. Plans changed. Paths shifted. Human space was avoided. One day, a small alien ship crossed into human territory by mistake. Alarms sounded. Human fleets did not fire. They escorted the ship safely out. The alien captain later said, "They could have destroyed us. They chose not to." That story spread faster than any battle report. In a distant system, a young alien child asked a question. "Why does everyone fear humans?" The teacher answered slowly. "They are not feared because they love war." The child waited. "They are feared," the teacher continued, "because they remember what war costs, and they are willing to pay it if they must." On Earth, an old Grant watched a sunrise. He smiled slightly. Humanity had not become rulers. They had become a line no one wished to cross. Behind him, history rested. Ahead, the stars waited. And across the galaxy, in thousands of languages, one lesson remained clear. Never mock the quiet ones. Peace is never permanent. It only waits. Decades after the Great War, the galaxy changed again. New species joined the council. Old empires weakened. Trade grew faster than trust. Power shifted quietly, like stars drifting over time. Humans watched. They always did. Beyond the mapped edges of space, something moved. Not fleets. Not empires. A force without faces or flags. Worlds went silent. Not destroyed, empty. Stations were found intact, but life was gone. No bodies. No damage. Just absence. Alien councils panicked. "This is worse than war," one leader said. "We cannot fight what we cannot see," said another. They argued for months. Then they did something unthinkable. They asked humans for help. On Earth, the message arrived quietly. Admiral Cole was gone now, her name carved beside the others. New leaders sat at the table. Younger. Wiser because of history. A general spoke first. "They fear what comes," he said. A scientist added, "This enemy does not attack like anyone before." Silence followed. Then the human representative spoke. "We will investigate," she said. "Not for power. Not for reward." She paused. "For survival." Human exploration fleets launched. Not armed heavily. Prepared carefully. They followed the trail of empty systems. Each one colder than the last. Each one more silent. In the farthest system they found it. A massive structure, half hidden inside a dead star. Alive. Watching. Human ships did not fire. They waited. The structure responded. Not with weapons. With a message. "You are the ones who endured," it said. "You are the ones who chose restraint." Human commanders listened. "We observed your war," the voice continued. "You could have conquered. You did not." A human captain answered. "Conquest destroys the future," she said. There was a long pause. Then the voice spoke again. "We test civilizations," it said. "Most fail." "And us?" the captain asked. "You passed," the voice replied. The entity explained. It removed dangerous species before they could burn the galaxy. Empires driven by endless expansion. Civilizations without limits. Humans had frightened it. Not by strength. By control. "You fight when forced," it said. "You stop when the threat ends." That balance was rare. The entity made a choice. It would withdraw. Would watch. And it would warn others. Human space was declared a protected region. Not by law. By fear and respect. When the fleets returned, the galaxy listened. Humans shared the truth openly. Some aliens were angry. Others were relieved. Most were silent. In the council hall, now warmer and brighter than before, a young alien asked a question. "Why did it spare us?" A human delegate answered. "Because the galaxy does not need rulers," she said. "It needs guardians who know when to stop." Far away, the ancient entity drifted back into darkness. The final record was simple. Humanity is not perfect. Humanity is not gentle. But humanity understands limits. On Earth, children still learned about the war. Not to feel pride. To feel responsibility. Because the future would test them again. And when it did, the galaxy would watch the quiet ones once more.